Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Fifi McLeod, and I'm Fifi the Paper Crafter across social media. I'm just going to take a second, and I'm going to load our video in our comments. Here we go. I'm running late this morning, and I'm going to tag a few people. I'm just setting all this up. Here we go. I'm going to plug my phone in that I'm recording from. There we go. Everything should be good to go. Hi, Angela. Thanks for joining. Make sure we're nice and frame and focus. Here we go. That should be good. Hi, Gilly. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to give everyone a second to come in. Can always pull everything up. Maybe a little higher so we can get that all into frame and focus. I'm going to tag a couple of people. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Angela. So, guys, I'm running an hour late today. I had a delivery this morning. It wasn't supposed to come until Thursday. And it was pretty funny. So I got up this morning and got the notification that it was out for delivery. And I was like, yeah, sure enough. If I would have been live, guys, I would have had the ding-dong at the door. So I would have had to have stopped because I had to sign for my box. I ordered 25 bottles of Paper Artsy Fresh Go paint. So that had finally come in today. So I'm really excited to give that a go. So in front of me, I'll show you guys. I've made myself a little concoction. We're waiting for everyone to come in. And in my concoction, I have coffee. So what I've done is I've taken the Keurig puck that I just used to make one of our morning coffees, and I ran it through my Keurig a second time just to put the water in there, so it's like an old coffee puck, so it's not like a good coffee puck that I'd go to drink from. And then I add instant coffee to it. So I buy myself, like a Nescafe or a Folgers container or whatever. It doesn't matter what brand of instant coffee, and I add a couple teaspoons to it. So this one here, I've gotten 1 cup from my Keurig. So I've added three teaspoons, heaping teaspoons of instant coffee to this, and it's hot, as you guys can see. The little the steam's coming off it. And it doesn't matter, it can be hot, it can be cold, it can be room temperature, it doesn't matter. I have one of these just flat brushes from, I ordered these for about $14 for a huge thing of them from Amazon. These are great not only for mixed media, but for coffee dyeing and doing all this sort of thing. So I just wanted to share that. And then what I've done too is I've added baking soda. So I've added 1 tablespoon of baking soda to this mix. So it's a little bit creamier than I'd normally have it for coffee, be a little bit darker. That's why it's like a lighter brown. And then also what the baking soda is going to do, it's going to eat the acid that's in your coffee. So it's going to be more archival, and it's not going to be as acidic when I'm, like, for my paper that I'm coffee dyeing. I'm not doing anything special, guys. This is just, I don't know, maybe 35-pound copy paper out of my printer. So I just wanted to share that. And so the first thing that we're going to do, because we're going to make our journal today, I have 8 sheets of white copy paper. So nothing fancy, just 8 sheets. And the other thing that you're going to want to do too, I have Tim Holtz ticket booth, CMS 337. So this will be the next thing that we do. I have his ticket booth stamps, and I also have his matching die set. So I've gone ahead and I've cut all of his ticket booth twice. And I have some of the extra little templates and things. This one here, we're going to make a cabinet card. This one here was from die cutting these two frames. So I just wanted to share that. That's where these had come from die cutting of these 2 frames. And they're perfect. So we're going to make like a specimen cabinet card sort of thing. And I'm not sure if we're going to put that here or if we're just going to make this up so I can show you guys how it's done. And we're maybe going to put it in here. So I haven't really decided where it's going to go yet, but we can always slip it in there for another option, or we can mount it here. But I might do something else there that's a bit smaller, maybe like another little pocket or something. Or we could always use that as a tuck. So I haven't really decided what we're going to do here yet, but this one here, we're going to, it's a slot pocket, so we're going to stuff in all of our, as you guys can see, we're going to stuff in all of our tags once we have them all done, all in here. So today we're going to do the center journal, which is here. And so what we want to do is we want to grab our ruler, and mine's over here in my organizer thing that spins. Here we go. So I have my Tim Holtz ruler, and we're going to want to figure out, sorry guys, I'll move these. And I have some, so if you want to go ahead and do something like that where you've got some tickets, I also have some of these here too. They're little tabs. So I have little tab die. So I have little tabs and some book plates and things. Just so we have some layering options once we do that. Then I want to take my journal and I want to figure out the measurement exactly between, so you're going to go from here to here. But what we're going to want to do is leave ourselves about 1/8 of an inch. So a good little gap between this side and this side so that your journal can slip in here without getting caught on your actual eyelets and your the end part of your journal here. So with the one that we did, so if I go in, I would say about so from the center of that eyelet, I'd go 1/8 of, like 1/4 of an inch. So I'm looking to go between here right there, and then my measurement would be 6 and 6 and about 6 1/2, and that would be perfect. Just eyeballing that, guys, just to make sure, because you don't want to go too close, but then you want enough room that it's not going to look like there's a huge gap. So yeah, I'm going to go 6 1/2 with this, so that should be perfect. Okay, so that's what I'm going for, guys, 6 1/2. So I want to make sure, so for me, that would be the width, guys, 6 1/2. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make a tick for 6 1/2 in length, sorry, in height. And the length should be okay, because we're going to see, if you guys can see that, we're folding it in half. So the length's going to be perfectly fine. It's just the width. We have to make sure that we're doing the 6 1/2. Because as you guys can see, that's way too big, right? So then, I'm going to put this aside. So we want to do that part first. And we're going to, and this is what I do too. I just line everything up, just like that. And I'm going to put all 8 sheets in here. Make sure that we're nice and straight, nice and even. And I'm going to make sure this lines up perfectly. to my 8 1/4, to my measurement that we took. And I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. And then I'm just going to drag it across, nice and straight. And I'm going to go back and forth. Yeah, just like this. And I'm going to remove the papers as we cut them. There we go. And that should be perfect, guys. I'll put these aside. Yep, and we have our pages like this. All right, so we're done with the paper trimmer. I can put that right back here. And so we have our 8 pages like this. So if you guys can see that, that's going to be perfect. Make sure everything's straight and everything's good. Yeah, good. Okay. So now we're going to coffee dye. So we're going to take our mixture. Again, I've added just a little bit of baking soda. And you can do the messy method with tea, guys. And we're just going to add a light coat. So I'm not looking to soak this. I'm just looking to add that nice light coat. And there's several different ways that you can do this. You can do it just as I'm doing it at your desk. If this is, if you're like lacking for space or for room, for like, you know, making a big coffee dye mess, this is a great way to do it right at your desk. And the other thing you can do too, and this is a method that I really like to do. So if you're like me and you make a lot of journals, then I would recommend using your oven. I can do about 50 to 80 sheets in about 30 minutes with my oven. I have 3 racks in my oven. So I can get 6 baking trays in, and I preheat my oven to I preheat my oven to about 140 degrees. And then what I do is take my baking sheets and I do this method just like this, where I'm coating them really heavy, or I'll take a spray bottle and spray them really quickly. So either method works, and you do both sides, and I put them in on a cookie sheet in the oven just to dry them. And then I'm spending that whole time just flipping in and flipping out the cookie sheets. So it's really quick. So it's basically, I can do 6 sheets of paper every minute or so. So in about half an hour, you'll get 50 to 80 sheets of coffee dyed paper. And it's funny because I don't have any on hand right now because I haven't done this in a while. And your paper's not overly thin. Like, I've used very thin paper, guys. This is just copy paper. And as you can see, as long as you're just wetting it, it's pretty forgiving. And then I can just easily take my heat it tool, so it's not loud for you guys. And we start heating up our piece of paper. So I'm going to do this with you guys. So this is just something simple that you can do at your desk. Or you can do the other method that I normally do, which is the oven method. And there's all sorts of fancy ways that you can coffee dye. If you have those plastic crochet mats with like the crochet doily pattern on it, you can use those to create textured and printed coffee dyed pages. This summer I want to do a YouTube video on how to do eco dyeing. So that's how to take botanicals from outside and dye your paper with them. And I want to do like a whole series with that this summer, making your own handmade papers and different things. And then the different methods, because you can use tea, you can use coffee. Avocado skins gives you this beautiful pink. It's like a vintage looking pink. And I don't care if I tear my edges a bit too. That just gives it that aged sort of look. There, I'm just going to flip it over this way. And we're going to dry our piece of paper. So I'm damp. I'm almost there. So as you guys can see, it's not too bad. You could even go as far as having like a drying rack in your room too. So if you wanted like you have like a little tiered rack, they sell them on Amazon in different places. And then all you do is just stack up your papers and then just let them air dry. That's another great method too. Here we go. So as you guys can see, it's starting to dry. There we go. And I've got that, my table's wet, so I want to just take a second. And I'm going to grab a paper towel. There we go. And just give this a wipe. So we're going to do 8 different things today. So you're not just going to watch me coffee dye and dry these. I'm not going to do them all the same. I'll show you guys some different methods. That's why we'll do something different for each cheat sheet that we have here. So this one's coffee dyed. Okay. And see with the baking soda, it gives you this really nice creamy color. So it's not like super dark like you'd think, you know, like coffee would be. It gives you this nice creamy sort of color. You can also use tea dye. I just I don't find tea as dark as coffee. And for that really vintage sort of grungy look, if you guys can see, that's why I like the coffee, because it's just, yeah, see, and then your papers are crinkly once they're dry. So this method takes a little bit for it to dry, but that's okay. I'm just to show you guys. And then I'll show you the difference too in what your actual page looks like. And the other thing too, if you guys are sending Happy Mail between countries, so if you were sending Happy Mail to Canada or the United States, or like from Canada to UK or Canada to US, or vice versa, back and forth, the postage people don't like coffee dyed paper. It triggers, I don't know why, but it triggers the dogs, like the drug dogs at customs. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So there has been instances of journals being pulled apart and stuff because of the scent with the dogs with the coffee dyed paper. So I just wanted to share that. So once we're dry, which we pretty much are, your page is now super awesome and it's crinkly. We'll fold these up. Okay, here we go. I'll show you that. Okay, we weren't straight on one side, and that's okay. I can give that a trim. I don't know what happened with the trimmer. Probably need a new one. Okay. As long as we're mostly straight. There we go. So if you guys can see, that's the difference in the color between a white sheet of paper and then when it's actually coffee dyed. Now, the other thing that we can do, and this will dry a little quicker, we can take our paintbrush. So I have one like this. This is just like a regular one that's from my dollar store. And we can put the coffee dye into our brush and we can splatter. This is my favorite splatter brush. It's a 1-inch brush from my my dollar store in like the hardware section. There we go. I'm getting some beautiful speckles, and we just keep filling in with speckles. And this is a great way too to add that little something to your paper without the commitment of soaking your paper. Nope, I have a little bristle here. That's okay. And again, we can just tap our brush like this for bigger splatters. So small splatters and then big splatters if we want them. And I'm getting this one too. That's okay. Okay, and then that's one side. And any little dribblings, we just kind of do that. Turn it over. And I'll do the same thing. Where we're just... And this gives you some different shapes. And this is a great thing too, because you're making like a handmade book. So you can have anything in there. And all of your, you know, your pages are all hand dyed. So I just wanted to show that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to wipe up the excess here, because that'll take forever to dry if I don't. There we go. And then just, yeah, there we go. So then we have some of it that's light paper and some of it that's coffee dyed, giving us splatters. And this is much quicker to dry. Yeah, splatters and spills. You could do this through a stencil. That's the other super fun thing too. You can use stencils, and you can do inking through a stencil. So I just wanted to share that. There's all kinds of different things you can do. And there's no right or wrong way. Just experiment with what you have. You could use any sort of you can use onion skins. You can use, and that gives you like a creamy orange color. You can, I mentioned the avocado gives you pink. Some people use red cabbage. Red cabbage gives you blue. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I would just avoid anything with sugar. Some of the ladies too, if you're in the United States, you can get the Kool-Aid packages, where you add your sugar to it, like to your Kool-Aid juice. So it doesn't come pre-made. The ones that we get in Canada are pre-made, but if you're in the States, you can get those little packets. And then that's the same thing. You add them, like add water to it in a pan, and then you can just dip your papers in, and it'll dye them the Kool-Aid colors. So I wanted to share that. Some people have used things like bingo daubers, and they've watered them right down to make their own. They've watered them down to make their own dyes. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. So you're making like a little bath for them, like for your papers, and then you dip it in, kind of like what we did with the coffee, where you're using your brush, or you can spray it and then dry them by hand like we did, or in the oven. So again, so this is just going to give us something really cool, guys. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. And again, you can use your sprays. You can do just about anything. So maybe we'll do one like that too. So now I'll use some of my sprays. I have a tea from South After. So let's grab that one. Those are beside me. Yep. Tea from South After. And just give that a nice spray. And I can do the same thing. I can add water, or I can just add my coffee. So just experiment, guys. Use your products together. So I'm just going to add some actual coffee with this. So I'm going to get my color to wick out. but it's also going to give me the coffee effect. So my pages sort of match and blend. Isn't that beautiful? Super happy with that. Yeah, spills and splatters. Yeah. And there's no rules, guys. That's the great thing about doing junk journals and making art journals and handmade books. There are absolutely no rules. So if you can think, you're only limited by your imagination. Literally. If you can like think it and make it, you can do it. That's one thing I absolutely love about it. And then I can blot off like this anything that I find that's too much. So that's great. That gives me that nice oxidized sort of effect. I absolutely love Seth sprays. Flip it over. And I'll do the same thing on the back, where I'm just adding some coffee. And I can move it around. I don't even have to worry about, there we go, because I just want that to be like kind of oxidized on this side, where I've got the excess coffee. Here we go. So see, all different methods, all different ways that you can do it. I want to lose that white. There. So that's giving me some beautiful paper here, guys. And then I'm just going to come in with my heat tool, my heat it tool, and do that. Okay. I got to get better in focus. Sorry, guys. You guys can hardly see what I'm doing. Move up. There we go. That should be better now. Just waiting for my video to catch up so I can see. There we go. Now you guys can see better. Well, that's kind of lopsided, isn't it? There we go. Perfect. Whoops. Don't bump your coffee over. There we go. And I'll flip it around. Yeah, so we're getting both sides. There we go. Come on. There we go. That's okay if you tear a little bit of the bottom of the page. It's no big deal, like I just did. There we go. Oh. Yeah, it's finally starting to. There we go. And it'll lighten up once it's fully dry. And just keep flipping it. Here we go. Oops. Let's give that a break for a second. There, I think that's pretty much good. We're a little damp, but that's no big deal. It's not like soaking wet. There we go. So that's this one here, guys. So again, we've got this one, that one. I can just leave that here to finish drawing. Okay. And I like that, just like that. Perfect. And then our next one, this is another technique I love. We'll clump it all up in a ball. And we uncrumple it. Like that. And we're going to switch back to the brush like this. And we're making like a crackled page. There we go. Flip it over. And I'm just gonna, pick up any of that Seth After spray that I have here too. That's on my desk. There we go. And we're just lightly going over it. Getting all these creases and cracks. So that's another neat effect too. There we go. And add a little bit more over here. And if you guys can see that, it gives you like a faux eco-dyed effect. If you guys can see that. With all the creases and crevices. There we go. So these are just some fun ways that you can dye your papers and to get different effects. And we're already halfway done, guys. This is 4 sheets already. Hi Marcia, thanks for joining. Hi Maxine. Sorry guys, I have very delayed comments. It's my phone. Probably need an upgrade. There we go. And I'm just using my Heat It tool just to dry everything. It's just going to give us some great effects. And we'll do something different for each page. So I can show you guys some different things that I like to do. We're just going to make a tiny little journal for the center of this book. So yeah, here's page 4. So again, we're mostly dry. I'm not worried about being overly picky because things will air dry themselves anyway. I just want it that it's not soaking wet. Damp's okay, but just not soaking wet. Because you can stack these and they'll dry. Okay, now we have this one. So just to recap for anyone who just came in. So I showed you guys how to do the coffee dyed page. And then we did splatters with our splatter brush. And then we did a combination of coffee splattering and Seth Apter, whoops, sorry guys, that was loud, dropped it. Seth Apter tea spray, his Zinc Aladdin spray, dye spray. And then we just did the crinkled effect with, we crinkled up our paper and then we coffee dyed it. So as you can see, it almost gives you like an eco-dyed effect because you got like the grains of the paper showing. So it's really neat how that takes that effect. And you could also ink it like, I'll show you. So now that we've done it like this, I could take, say, one of the greens. So I wanted it to be more like eco-dyed looking. Yeah, maybe peeled paint. That one's light, isn't it? Let me see. Oxide. Yeah, here we go. And just like a stencil brush. Nothing too major. Yeah, stencil brush. I'm going right into my peeled paint. And you could just hit. There we go. So it almost reminds you of leaves, right? Just to accent where we've, there we go. Where we've accented where we've crinkled it. So if you want it to look more like eco-dyed paper, you could do that. You can get that effect. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. Sorry, guys. I have that pretty cluttered up there. Leaning Tower of Pisa. There. And that just gives us that lightly eco-dyed effect. And you could do one side, you could do both sides. It's entirely up to you. So we could just do that on one side, just to give it something for the center, like that. And then you'll have the eco-dyed on one side, and then you'll just have the crinkled paper on the other. So that's neat too. Okay, the next thing. I'm going to show you that with the stencils. I just need to reach. Okay, this is one of the newer ones. Tim Holtz THS 161 Crest. I think this was a Halloween release. This one, the roses and the mixed media marks. I can't remember what that one was called though. Okay, next one. So we have our 4 sheets here. This is number 5. So again, we can do something really neat. I just want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. I think I'm pulling everything too close to me. I'll put those aside. There we go. So you guys can see what I'm doing. And I can kind of figure out exactly where I want to put stuff. So this is kind of neat too, just to give your page a little something. And you can do this with distress. You could do this with coffee. So just for this tutorial, I'm just going to show you guys how it looks with coffee. And it's pretty neat. So you want it controlled. You don't want it too wet, but wet enough that you're going to be able to get through your stencil. So I don't like a seeping brush, but I like it wet enough that it's going to go on there. There we go, and I'm just getting into all those little nooks and crannies. I'm missing a couple here. There we go. And we lift. Sometimes it works out really great, and sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. It's still going to give us a really neat effect. I'll show you guys once that's dry. Because what you can do too is, now that you've coffee dyed it, you can go over it with a little bit of distress ink, and it'll make it pop. I'll show you that too. Where it really shines is when you're doing this with like a crocheted patterned plastic doily. And all you would do is just wet them and let them air dry. And there we go. So you get something that kind of looks like that. Just want to grab a paper towel. Sorry, guys. There we go. I have the paper towel over my stencil. And they won't stain your stencils or anything like the coffee dye. It's just like your distress. A little bit of water will wipe it off. So I just wanted to share that. You can leave it on your stencil for hours or days and it's not going to stain it or do anything. It's like the texture pastes and things that you have to wash off your stencils right away, or it'll have like a negative effect over time. There we go. So just make sure that we're mostly dry. That's the back of it. So you see, we get that really cool effect. And then when we use, and I do really like that green, so maybe we will use that again. And I can show you guys how that's going to look. Okay, so our peeled paint. And we're going to flip the stencil backwards. No, frontwards, sorry, for this side. And we're going to line it all up. So right about here. And I'm just picking it up with my stencil brush. And going kind of heavy-handed in a circular motion. You could go lighter, you could go darker green. It's whatever you guys wanted to. I had peeled paint right here, so I think that one's going to be really nice. And it kind of goes with the page that I did previous. To give it like a botanical sort of look. Here we go. And our coffee dye had, our coffee dye had leaked underneath. So this will give it that really neat effect, if you guys can see. So it's kind of done on purpose, right? So then you have everywhere where that stencil is perfectly, you have the stencil portion of it popping out from your distress ink, and then you have it all bled to the background with the coffee stain. So I just wanted to share that. So it's a really neat effect, and you can really see the detail when I get closer of what it does. And again, I've got some creases here because of the wet. But yeah, it's super fun. Maybe we could, a little darker. I want to keep it symmetrical though. I like things symmetrical. So we'll just do this over here. I'm just going to flip this around the opposite way. So we get the same sort of effect over here. Line that up perfectly. Right about here. And then it'll be offset by the coffee underneath. there we go. Just like that. So when you fold your page, there we go. Leave this on this side, and then we have that on that side, just like that. So super cute. And then you could do some journaling, or if we wanted to, we could just kind of add to that, where we're just, there we go. Add some spray, just to kind of even it out. I can lift this too if I want to. Lift that spray up. There we go. And same thing with here. Just like that. Just to give it that little bit of something. There. And keep the inside just like that. And then the other thing too, I like to do decoupaging and different things. So this is a great like starter background. So in here I could put like a bunny or something here, or a bird. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I have a book right here beside me. I'll show you an example of that. Just to give you guys another idea of what you can do with your coffee dyeing. See guys, and I've done it through stencils here. So you do your coffee dyeing, and then you can do more stenciling like that, where I've added the birds with the decoupage. And then the inside, that's stenciling, guys, with your coffee. So just to show you guys some ideas. Then you can stamp and add your stuff to it too, because I love to do the stamping. So you can do that too, guys. I just don't have them with me at my desk. They're on the opposite side of the room. So yeah, like feel free, use your imagination. There's so many things that you can do, and I love doing the decoupaging with the napkin. And I've showed you guys how I do the dry decoupaging, where I'm just pouncing, so you're not soaking that whole area, and then you just get like bits and pieces, and then you can sand, or you can leave it as is, like that, where you're having that little bit of white in the background. So I just wanted to share that. There's like so many things that you can do. That's just an idea. I might have script stamp right here. Let's see. Oh, I do. Yes, beautiful. Tim Holtz, this is actually the first stamp set that I bought of his. Papillion CMS 106. And I absolutely adore this script stamp. And as you can see, it's filthy. Because that's, yeah. It's well used and well loved. And it doesn't matter, guys. You can do anything. You can spray it. And then add a little bit of water to it. Here's my distress sprayer. Tiny little bit of water. Just a little, not a lot. Just a little. Okay. Clean up the mess here. Okay. And then we go in. That helps if we have it the right way, right? So here we go. Blanchard. Bouillon. Here we go. Like that. Oh, it's bled right through, guys. So I like it grungy, where it's like, yeah, and you get your bits and pieces in. Like that. There we go. I got it across there, that's okay. And that there says Paris. Do that right across here. Paris. There we go. Just to give it a little something. And you don't have to do that where you're wetting it, but I like to. Just makes it more mixed media looking, right? And the same thing with the inside. So we just have little bits and pieces, and then I've kind of dried this mostly, and it's just going to give us, there we go, that mixed media look. There we go. So you can do that with your pages too. You can just ink them up and stamp them. I like that, if you guys can see, now that I have that little bit of inked area. Anywhere where you, and this is the thing too, anywhere where you add your distress spray stains or Seth Apter, the ink ones, the Ice Ink Dye Sprays by Seth Apter, any distress oxide will go to the surface. So anytime that you ink over top of oxide, the Distress Oxide sprays or the Distress Oxide pads, it pops to the very surface, to the top of whatever you've done. So I wanted to share that. So that's why we have all this really neat texture in there. So we're not going to lose any of that. It's just going to enhance it wherever we have it. So I just wanted to share that. And it's gone over top of this because that's coffee. And where this side is the side that we have the Distress Oxide. So it just gives us that little something. So I just wanted to share. And we can layer it with other things too as we go. So that's the next one. That's sheet 5. And we have 2 more. 3 more. Yeah, this is 6. And we have 8 total. Because I like to do about 8 sheets per signature when I'm doing like a little mini booklet inside of a junk journal or like a 1 signature journal. I like about 8 pages. There we go. I'm just seeing if I have a piece of corrugated cardboard in here. I want to show you something really cool. And I do have a box right here. This will just take me a second, guys. I just need to tear a good size piece of it. And it doesn't matter if it's straight or what have you. This will be perfect. So this is essentially what we want to do, guys. Just like that. For the corrugated part. There we go. And you just finesse it and pull it off. You can use this for all kinds of different things. My friend Tammy makes the most amazing makes with corrugated cardboard, and she uses it like as backdrops and background pieces and stuff. It's just amazing. But this is one of my favorite things to do with it. So you can do this either or. You could use your sprays or you can use coffee. So I'm kind of trying to keep it to the coffee dyed, so just to give you guys some ideas. So we're going to open this up. I've got a little bit of ink on there, but it doesn't matter. We can put that on the inside, actually. So we'll just fold it the opposite way. There we go. Improvise. Here we go. We're going to take our piece of corrugated cardboard. So we want to take this side of it. And see, I'm going to have something that looks like this. Now we're going to take our coffee and we're going to wet the whole thing. We're really going to wet it, guys. In all the spaces. Make sure we have it really wet. In all the spots that we want it. Okay. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to stamp it. So let's do it right across here like this first. Like this. I like to do this with a ripped box, but the other great thing too is the round ones that you get on a pizza. So, you know, when you buy frozen pizzas from the grocery store, and I save some of those round ones, and then I peel them back like I did this, and then you'll have that round piece. So then you could take a piece of paper and get 2 perfect half ovals on each side. So I just wanted to share that. That's another favorite. Or you can have like that round circular journaling spot that comes from the bottom like towards the top. And it's just super fun. And it's a great way to get these natural lines on your page that you can use for journaling. So I just wanted to share that. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to re-ink it up by wetting it. We're already damp, so we just need another good little coat. And then this, we're going to do this side right to here. Just like that. And just like this. And you can fill in any blanks like that. And when it dries like that, you have all these lines that you can journal on. So, super fun. And then for the back, it'll dry the same. So I just wanted to share that. And then you could put, like, you know, some stamping here. Do I have something here? I do. Let's do this. Okay, I have off the same pavilion, I have the moths. So let's pull the moths. There we go. Right there. And I want to grab a stamping block. Do I have one big enough here? Yeah, I have one of Tim's over here. This is his stamping block to one of his bouquet sets. I love it. It's massive, and I kind of keep this at my desk for anything quick. I do have his stamping platform. I like that for the bigger stamps, like the Professors and the Time Traveler and those kind of stamps. So I just wanted to share that. So I can do that. I could use Distress. I could use Ranger Archival. Maybe I'll do that just to show you guys something different. Yeah, here's some ground espresso. Ranger Archival. These come in a 4-pack. So I can just give them a really good ink. Like that. Okay, and my ground espresso. And I'm going to come over here and wipe that up so I don't get that everywhere. And then where I feel like it's a little blank and I have that little whoops from the other thing, I can just make that look like it's part of the background and it's supposed to be there. And just come in like that with some pressure. Without moving my stamp. And just do like a walking method. Yeah, that. So I'm getting. Okay, and then I essentially just lift it. Perfect. So I have that perfect stamp. There. And just gives it a little something. So that's another favorite thing that I like to do. And you can do the same thing by I'll show you that too. That'll be the next one that we do. So this one is from coffee. You can do your lines with coffee dye, or you can spray them with Distress, or Tim Holtz spray stain or oxide sprays, and you get the same effect. Okay, here's our cardboard. And here's our paper, so we'll just come in. 1, 2, I'll show you guys, 3, 4, 5, yep, and 6. Just like that. There we go. 6. And we have 2 more. So I would prefer to use the sprays on here rather than trying to use your ink pads, because you're going to contaminate it with the coffee and the water. So if you've got the sprays, this would be the best time to do that. I'm just looking for my vintage photo. Sorry guys, it should be towards the back. Yep, right here. Here we go. I use some Distress Oxide sprays. I just want to make sure that I have it all off the bottom. Perfect. I can go ahead and I can spritz this just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to hit it with water And again, just a little water. Okay, and I've got some in the center, and that's no big deal. And then I just want to give that a light touch across here, like that, like that. And then I've done that over here. Yep, like this. Just like that. So I've given myself two very different journaling spaces. And I can go ahead and just, yep, touch that up there. And you could stencil with this. You can do so many different things. But that's just to give yourself some quick journaling lines on your pages. Just a lot of fun. So again, it's going to look something like this. So again, they're not straight, but you could have your writing off to the side, and you could do some kind of a stenciled thing. And the other thing I like to do, I will show you guys too, and we'll use our other stencil. So I like that leaf. Let's try that with this one. And it doesn't matter. I don't even have to worry about cleaning this yet, guys. I'm not worried. Let's do our leaf that comes, and we'll kind of twist it. Our leaf comes like this. And this is another one of my favorite things to do. And I have, I'm not going to use my copper. I'm going to use this one here, which is a green. And this is Lavish Green by Deco Art. These are metallic lustres, and I like to use these on my pages. This isn't really something I'd use on like a mixed media project because they're very water-based. But these ones you can use with your stencils. So I do like these just for adding little accents through your stencils onto your papers. So I'm going to show you this too. So this is another beautiful effect. And I do this a lot with Tim's Flourish stencil, where I'm doing the pages all. I did a book like that for my dad and for my mom for their they had an Airbnb in their Victorian manor, so that they purchased. And what I did was I made them a vintage journal, and they used it as a guest book. And then what I did was I had all the pages in it coffee dyed, and then I did the I did stenciling like this with the green all throughout the book. So it's like, it's metallic, right? And I did that with the Flourish stencil, and then I coffee dyed the pages, and then I used the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Spray in Vintage Photo to create all the lines. So I just wanted to share that. So that is something that I've done in other journals that I've done. Okay, so that's cute. I really like that. And we'll let that dry because it only takes a minute. These are just metallic lustres. I ordered these on Amazon. And I have a few of them. I'll show you this little container I have. It's super handy. And it holds 4 on their side. So these are all Deco Art. And so I've got their Christmas ones. They're like a elegant emerald and radiant red. And then I have the ones I did for the mermaid journal that I did. I have brilliant turquoise and I have cosmic blue. And these are my vintage ones. So then I have that lavish green. I have iced espresso. And I have rose gold. That's another really beautiful one. And I just ordered this one from Viva Decor. It's Inca Gold. But I believe this is their copper. The color is copper. Yeah, copper. So I'm really excited to give that a go because I haven't used that one yet. And then over here I have my Ranger Archival set. So super handy. And I have this in a Recollections cube. So it's a great storage solution for all of that. And it only takes up like that much bit of space. So I just wanted to share that's a great storage solution for that. And now I can give my my stencil a bit of a clean. Here we go. And just a little bit of water. And that's all you need. So I like to just, give it a little clean once it's all done. And then we'll just wipe up our mess. And I think we've got one more page left. And maybe just for continuity, for the last page, we'll just coffee dye it. Because I showed you guys a bunch of different techniques of things that you can do. Some ideas. And that's just like preliminary too. Like I can go back and I can do stamping when things are dry. And that's the neat thing too, when you do the stamping in like the sprays and have it kind of mucky like we did the other page, then I could go back in archival once it's dry and I could stamp it properly in Ranger Archival so it's more refined. And then you have like that offset mixed media shadow off of it. So I just wanted to share that. So we did that, but it won't be the final thing on that page. I like to work in layers as things dry. I just wanted to share that. Okay, that's perfect. And this is our last one. And here we go. We'll add that. I'll add that right in here. And right here. And we'll just coffee dye this one. So the inside's the same as the outside. And we can, the ones that are just solid coffee dyed, I like to decoupage. So we can go ahead and do that after, once everything's dry. And our book's together. Here we go. But I wanted to show you guys different ways to dye your pages and to how to coffee dye. Because I have had a lot of requests for that too, how I do my coffee dyeing. So it's just simple. You just make up, and I'll say it again for anyone who missed it. All you do is just go to your Keurig or your kettle, and I just put my last puck through that I used for my morning coffee, and then I add 3 tablespoons or teaspoons. 3 teaspoons, sorry. Yeah, 3 teaspoons of instant coffee to that mix. And that gives me something that's really dark like this. And you get about a cup. And then I add baking soda, 1 tablespoon of baking soda to that mix. And then you're going to get something a little bit more creamy, like what we have. And then what it does is it eats the acid out of your coffee mixture so that it tones it down so that you're not going to have acid directly on your pages, because it will eat your paper over time. So I just wanted to share that. And even when you're scrapbooking, that was one of the biggest things. Their papers are all acid and lignin free so that you're able to, so they're considered archival safe, so that you can add your photos and your memorabilia and your important stuff into your journals or your scrapbooks. So that's why I would add a little bit of baking soda to anything acidic. So that's like coffee, tea, even some of the stuff that you can eco-dye with. Some of it is kind of acidic. Like if you were to do that with tomatoes or something like that. I don't think I would because of the sugar in tomatoes, but because again, you don't want to use anything that's going to be sugary or overly like that. I would use like things like avocado skins and onion skins, and because that's going to give you the onion will give you that creamy orange color, and then avocado will give you a beautiful pink. You can also do cabbage. Cabbage gives you a beautiful purple, or like a blue, depending on the red cabbage and regular cabbage. Yeah, one will give you purple and one will give you blue. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, and I'm going to go back to that heat tool now that I've got this mostly dry. There we go. We just have to, there we go. And we'll dry our last one. And there's a billion things that you guys can do with your coffee dyed papers. You can stamp them, you can script stamp them, you can journal on them, you can ink them up, decoupage them. There's so many things. Stencil them. And add your makes to them. That's the other thing too, like glue your makes down. Make freaking pages. There's so many things. There's no rules and anything goes. So if you can think it, it can happen. You can do it. So I just wanted to share that. I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing to give you guys some ideas of what you can do. But you can do anything. And that's the thing too, guys. I hope everyone tries and does and follows my tutorial and puts a book together. But feel free, guys. You don't have to do exactly what I did either. You can do your own thing and take what I did to a whole other level or a whole other place and try different things. And you can follow my tutorial to a T exactly how I did it, or you can create something else to make it your own. So that's kind of what we do, guys. We just, share inspiration, and I always say creativity is contagious. We're always sharing and getting ideas from each other. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. And I can't thank Lou and Rachel enough, guys. And I'm part of this wonderful community. I'm so excited. It's really amazing. And that's what I love to do. I love to show everyone what I'm doing and how I do different things. And teach. It's absolutely my calling. There we go. We're a little wet in the center there, we can see. There we go. And I have a little bit of ink, and I embrace all these little imperfections. So if you get anything from your desk, I kind of welcome that. You guys know me. If it's grungy, it's awesome. Yeah, any little imperfections. Perfect. There we go. There, that should be good. It's mostly dry. But again, I can put this together damp. It's no big deal. Okay, I'm going to check my time. Okay, I've been on for more than an hour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it at that for today. I'm just going to leave this to dry because we're still, a couple of our pages are a little damp. And you want this probably, I would say, fully dry before we go ahead and sew in our signature. Because that's what we'll do. So when I come back next week, we will sew in our signature. And then we can finish decorating our pages. And I'll show you guys how I add the final touches to our little book. And then we're going to add this into our journal. And then we're going to stamp and we're going to finish our tickets to go into our book for here. And this is going to go into the center portion of our journal. And let's just give it a little test run. Because then I know too if I need to trim something. Let's see. Go to the center of our journal right here. And this is how we're going to add this in. Right like that. See, we're still a little wet. And that should be perfect right in here. See, guys? Just like that. Okay, so we're sticking it way too far. So again, I can trim this down. But see, that's going to be perfect because of how I put that there. Yeah. Yeah, that will need to be trimmed. For sure. And that's how it sits, right like that in the center of those two. I mean, I could leave it like that, but I'm probably going to want to trim it down at least, yeah, to about here. So that's okay. I'm going to take about an inch off. And I want to square everything up a little better too. So I can go ahead and do that. I'll probably use my Tim Holtz trimmer for that. So just to give you an idea, that's how it's going to go. And then what we're going to do too, we're going to stitch it all together so the book doesn't actually come apart. So it's up to you. You can, you don't have to. You could absolutely just put your pages in like how I showed you like this. Or, but I want to pamphlet stitch them, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Of how I like to do that. So we'll do that when we come back. And then I just have to add the tickets here. We're going to make a cabinet card for the inside, and maybe we'll do some sort of a tuck thing with that. I kind of want to embrace this. I don't know. I'll show you guys what I mean. Like if we were to make a tag or something. Not this size, obviously. It's going to be a little bit smaller, I think. Yeah, much smaller. Hold on, we've got something here. Here we go. Something like this. You guys can see that? Just like that. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Something to kind of embrace that. So even that's kind of cool, right? I don't know. We'll figure that out. But I want to somehow utilize this that we're, or either we're doing that or we're going to hang or even something like this where we're hanging or flipping something off of here. You guys can see that. something like that. Maybe. I don't really know yet. But we'll figure it out. I really like that, and we'll figure out what we're going to do there. So I'm thinking to embrace that opposed to hiding it, if that makes sense. And then what I want to do too, we'll put our book in, and then we just have the cover to do. So again, on the back, I just like to put like a little nameplate here, and just I have a stamp with my name on it, and that's what I like to do here. I just stamp like a little nameplate, like a book plate, and put it here for the back. And then the front we'll do something interactive, and I'm thinking to do a piece of my mixed media. That I have a mixed media piece that I have sort of ready for here, that we just have to do like the final touches to, where we're adding the layering and stuff to it. But it's a background that I had started that's about 10 or 11 layers, and I want to do that here, and then I want to add some three-dimensional elements and probably a pocket at the top like I did for this one. But this one has a double pocket. I'll show you what I mean. Here we go. This is the other one I did. So I have this, see, I use the same script stamp here, right here. Maybe I used a smaller one. Yeah, I used a smaller one from, this is Papillion, and the other one's from Attic Treasure, I think it's called. So that's the smaller version of this one. That's what I did there. And I have the clock with the three-dimensional hands that move, timeless stamp, and then the double library pocket at the top. 1 and 2. So maybe we'll do something like that. And then our journal goes in the center. So I'll leave it at that today, guys. And I'll be back next week for sure with our next part. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you back on Tuesday. And again, guys, I'm Fifi McLeod, and I'm Fifi the Paper Crafter across social media. I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Instagram as Fifi the Paper Crafter. And my Facebook group is Fifi the Paper Crafter's Creative Community. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.